Good morning. Good Saturday morning. David Keever, Mike Powell, Brett Keever here with you in the house. Final show of 2024. Mike Powell.
That's right.
Final
the
show
last
of the year.
Hurrah for the year.
And yeah, I was thinking, I don't even know how good my memory. Well, I know how good my memory is. It's shot. But just trying to think back on happenings that happened in the year. But they're, after yesterday, there's one I will not forget, and that is the passing of Greg Gumbel.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary sportscaster.
Mm-hmm.
78. I think I heard 78 years old, battled with cancer. And, Mike, the first warning of this was when back in the most recent March Madness, he was unable to
do it.
Yep, unable to fill his duties there. And they talked about it was health issues, and they hope to have him back the next season. And now we know that it will not be.
No.
That he has passed on. He and his brother, Bryant, have been a well-known tandem of broadcasters. Classy, great interviewers, just terrific jobs in what, the way they present themselves, and always professional.
Yeah, Gumbel, you always associate him with March Madness, CBS. And of course, they always have always had the Final Four and hosting the sports, the panel show for that, and the headquarters for that, and Blaze Trails. Like you said, I think classy is the word.
It is.
That best describes his broadcast persona.
And, Bryant, probably more known, as well known for news coverage and doing interviews, to famous stars for whatever the reason that they're famous or infamous in some cases.
Yeah, Bryant's always associated with NBC. Now Greg had a stint at NBC. Then he went back to CBS.
Yeah, and he's been on like HBO or something as well. I can't remember which one, but Showtime, HBO, something like that, where he also had some shows at different times. But, I never knew. Maybe I knew at one time, but I did not remember which one was the older of the two. But Greg is the older.
By a couple of years, I think.
Yeah, by 2 years. And I knew they were close, but I never did know exactly which one. So if I did, I didn't remember it. So I looked it up yesterday and saw that he was the
this is another iconic broadcaster who has been lost to cancer. Of course, you remember Stuart Scott, ESPN, not that many years ago.
Yep, and way younger than 70.
Yeah, he was in his 50s, right?
Yeah. If he made it that far.
If he made it that far.
If he made it that far, I can't remember exactly, but that's been what now, maybe 3 years, 4 years on.
A little longer.
Oh, more than that.
Has it been more
I'd
than
say
that?
7, 8 years.
Well, it goes by fast.
Yeah, it does.
When you get to be in your 40s like me, it goes by fast. You believe that, Mike?
When you get into your 50s.
Yeah.
Really go by
When
fast.
you get in your 50s. First question I had this morning for you guys in the world of sports yesterday. How much bowl games did you watch over
Unfortunately,
the
I
holidays?
watched 3 hours of OU versus Navy.
Yeah, I guess you did see that
That's
one.
the only one I've watched from pretty much start to finish this bowl season.
Let me tell you how.
Well, I'm not counting the playoffs. I watched.
Yeah,
obviously,
right.
I watched the
and I don't
playoffs.
count them as bowls.
I don't either.
And I don't think the first is the first round actually called a bowl?
No.
I didn't think
No.
so.
Now the
Because
next
it's at a
ones-
home field.
Yeah, the
'Cause it's
next
at a home
ones will
field.
be though,
Yeah,
right?
the next ones
Yeah.
are
Right.
considered bowl games.
Rose Bowl,
Yeah, they're part of the New Year's.
New Year's,
Six.
Peach Bowl, Sugar Bowl. I don't know what I say. There's 4 games, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 quarterfinal games,
Four
and they're all at
quarterfinal.
major bowl.
Good
sites.
morning. Good morning, Ned. Ned says the broadcast off to a good start on both 1050WLON.com and on Facebook. So got us loud and clear.
Yeah, Ned, I got to give you congratulations to the midshipmen.
I saw that yesterday.
Great game.
I was,
They held off Oklahoma at the end, stopped the 2-point conversion, and anchors away, baby.
Now I'm gonna what I was gonna tell you is I'm gonna tell you how much I know about the Oklahoma. I was busy yesterday on the run doing a lot of different things.
Right.
But all the information I know about the Oklahoma and Navy game is what I read on Ned's text.
All right.
That's it.
Well,
That's
it came down to the end. How many bowl games have we had that's gone into overtimes? One went to 6 OTs, right? I mean, there have been some really
Competitive
games.
I don't know if you want to call them good.
No, I wouldn't call them good. I don't know if it's good football, but we had a couple overtimes, come down to the end, dramatic finishes. Yeah, Navy had a 21-14 lead. Oklahoma scored with 6 seconds left and went for 2.
I saw that they stopped the 2-point conversion.
And Navy stopped the 2-point conversion and held on for a 21-20 win.
Was it close at all to getting the conversion in?
No, Oklahoma quarterback went back to pass and bull rushed. I mean, really didn't have a chance to look for receivers.
He threw it away, got sacked.
They got sacked.
Okay.
The one thing you can't do.
Yeah, throw it up for grabs.
Throw it up for grabs. I just don't understand getting sacked. But hey. Anyway, big win for Navy. I think their first bowl win since, I want to say 2016. Ned, correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong on that. But
2016.
Great season for Navy, 10 wins. They beat Army. So I'm sure Ned's happy. And anybody else who pulls for Navy. Good game. It was a really good game.
Yeah. Well, evidently, I mean, 20.
Oklahoma was up 14-0. Navy just hung around and came back and took the lead, and then it came down to that finish.
Yeah. I wanted, if there was one game, and I don't know why, because I'm not really a fan of either team, but if there was one game I wanted to see yesterday, it was the Southern Cal and Texas A&M game, and it's 10:30 at night.
I know.
I
watched a little bit in the second quarter, and it was midnight.
Why? I mean,
point.
I watched.
It's 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Obviously, I didn't make it to halftime. I didn't try to make it to halftime.
What was the final? I don't even know.
Well, Southern Cal was the winner in the game. You see it, Brett?
Yeah, it was 35-31.
Good one.
Yep.
And Southern Cal scored. They had to outscore them 21-7 in the fourth quarter to win it.
Does that save Riley's job?
I don't think that game will really factor in.
Okay.
They did finish with a winning record, but do you really think of bowl games?
I think he's safe anyway. But
yeah, I think he's safe for at least one more year. Just like Brent Venables at Oklahoma, he's got one more year to turn it around, and I think the same is true for Riley. The buyouts for both those coaches would be pretty pricey.
I just think they're both going to have to pay a big-time coordinator to fix their issues. I don't know.
Or one of them leave and go to the other. And,
of
course, they would leave one empty. But they're not giving up that head coaching job on their own.
No.
Well, Lincoln Riley's definitely not going back to Oklahoma where he was a head coach as a defensive coordinator. I mean, offensive coordinator, but yeah.
I think you got to ask the question.
Venables as a defensive coordinator at Southern Cal, that would be a great hire if he was interested in that, but I don't see that happening.
Venables is a good defensive coach, and we know that Riley's a good offensive coach, but the question is, can either one of them, run a program and be the head man? I don't know.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Roger says, way to go, Navy. I'm a Navy veteran, so big win yesterday for the Navy.
Both academies, Army and Navy, had really good years.
Yes, they did. What is Army? Has Army played a bowl game? Are they in a bowl game?
They're in one. They haven't played yet.
Okay.
Yeah, they are in one. I don't know about the Air Force. I don't think Air Force had a very good year.
Army is in the Independence Bowl.
And Air Force used to be the best
today
football program of the three.
They were the most consistent.
Tonight at 9:15, Army plays Louisiana Tech.
And they're heavily. They're like 2 touchdowns.
Louisiana Tech is 5-7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And playing in this
Army
bowl game.
should win that.
Now you're looking at it, and I'm not, and Mike's not. What is Louisiana Tech's nickname? Do you know, Mike Powell, Louisiana
Raging
Tech?
Cajun?
No, that's not, is it, Brett? Because
That's
that's
not
just Louisiana.
Yeah, that's Louisiana.
That's
don't
That's the one that came to my mind, and I
Yeah.
said, no, that's not
This
them.
is a very common name
Yeah.
that I would have never. I would eventually
Tell me the two
guessed
most.
it.
Tell me
but-
the two most famous people to go to Louisiana Tech. Surely you can do that, Mike Powell. I know you can tell me one of them.
Is that where Bradshaw went?
Mm-hmm.
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw.
And who was the quarterback he was behind? Phil Robertson. Duck.
Oh,
Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty.
The
Duck
man with
Dynasty.
the man with the beard.
Yeah.
But Louisiana Tech, their women's basketball program 30 years ago, maybe longer than that.
It was it
A
was
national
dominant.
champion.
National
Yes.
champion.
Yeah, they won a
Yeah,
couple.
they were
didn't
really
they?
good,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's who one of these famous coaches played for. Is it Mulkey? Kim Mulkey?
Kim Mulkey
Probably.
played. Yeah.
I think she went to Louisiana Tech. I think she was on those championship team.
But I still can't remember. I'm not asking you as a trivia question of their nickname because I know it. I'm trying to remember it.
It's just a common name, but there's tons of them.
Is it?
It's got nothing to do
Eagles.
with Louisiana. It's,
Eagles, Bulldogs.
Yep.
Is it really?
Bulldogs, yep.
Oh,
That didn't take long.
That is mundane. Bulldog. My God.
Did not know that, and I don't even know if I've ever heard that they were the.
I
that they
do
were-
love Raging Cajuns. Always thought that was
That's
cool.
a good one. Yeah. Now, why did they go from? Their name now is just Louisiana, and it used to be.
Lafayette, Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Yeah, I don't know.
spread their wings a little bit. Maybe they have campuses in different places. I mean, a lot of schools do. That's for sure. Now, just to go through some of last Saturday, Clemson and Texas 38-24. Penn State, SMU. I think I sent out a message to a few people that said, after this debacle, Alabama will never be left out again.
Yeah.
SMU getting in there and not scoring a touchdown to the fourth quarter, manhandled by Penn State.
The only thing is,
38-10.
though, even in the college football playoff on its 4 teams, how many we had a lot of blowouts.
We did.
I mean, you can just run down the list.
And the biggest one's coming next, Mike. Ohio State over Tennessee, 42-17.
Yep.
And you know what? I felt bad for Tennessee because that was the absolute worst time you could have Ohio State on
play
your
Ohio
schedule.
State.
Yeah.
After everything they went through that week losing to Michigan.
That's
And
right.
how long was that? 2.5 weeks till they played again?
Yeah.
Or something like that? 2 weeks?
Yeah, had a lot of
It
time
was
to
the
stew.
absolute. I sent Coach Cloninger a message. I said it's the absolute worst time you could play them. They've had to sit on that and listen to all that and be steaming for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And they played the best game they've played in years.
I know the
yeah.
Ohio State fans hate that they lost to Michigan, but that might have woke them up where they go on and win a national championship.
They have the talent.
That they might not have won.
Hey, if
If
they
they
play
beat
like they
Michigan.
did last week, they're capable of beating anybody.
Yeah.
And they probably weren't too thrilled that the Tennessee Orange was filling up 25% of their stadium
Yeah.
either. And I don't know how they got
Well,
tickets.
I don't-
like they
there's
did,
not a
but
lot
that
you can do
Might have been
about
more
that, I
than
don't think.
25%. No.
Oh yeah, they were. It was a
It was
sea
everywhere.
of. It was a
It
sea
was
of
everywhere.
orange.
I mean, it wasn't as much as Ohio State
yeah,
red, but it was. There
Yeah.
was there
At
was
least
an
25%.
invasion.
at least 25.
it was a
least
volunteer
25.
invasion of Columbus, Ohio.
I just wonder how they managed to.
Well, I think it's in the wake of what everybody felt about the loss to Michigan, and a lot of
Sure, it
Ohio
was.
State faithful were just
So
mad.
if Ryan Day does not win in round 2,
Yeah.
is he out?
I don't think
Is he
so.
back? I think
I
he's
think
back.
he's back.
I think he's back.
back too. I mean, what do you get? Who you gonna get?
One thing I
don't know.
see, I really do see there, and I'm not an Ohio State fan, okay, but the players, I think, love him. I mean, I think the players play for him. They play, I don't
Yeah.
know what happened in that Michigan game, but if they
No,
played
the
that Michigan team, they're going to win 4 out of 5. They
The
just
fact
didn't
they
win
were
on that
held
day.
to, what was it, 10 points?
Yeah.
That just,
Yeah.
I don't see how that happens. They're loaded on offense.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
really good running backs, great receivers. The
Receivers.
quarterback's good.
And Michigan was probably replacing out of 22 starters. They were probably replacing 16.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
But Michigan won the line of scrimmage just like they've been doing the last 3 years. That's where they won the game.
what do you think about flag posting or whatever it's called, marking territory after?
Not a good idea on the road. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to do it at home.
Yeah, no.
So let's just
I don't like it.
let's just ban it all.
No, I don't
together.
like
ban
it
it.
either.
Let's just ban it all
All it's
together.
going to do is create
You know what it's going to do?
Well, they just stopped taking flags to the.
It's going to trickle down to high school.
Yeah.
You know,
and
that's not going to be a good scene either. No, we
No.
don't. No, we don't. Yeah, I'm not in favor of it. Not in favor of it at all. You win the game, win it with some class.
Yeah.
You know. Rolling on down
Well,
through
you're talking
some of
about
these.
Michigan, so.
Hey, easy now. I like I do like Michigan's program, but you know they're not the only ones doing it. Who was one of the first ones you remember doing something like that?
I tell you the one.
Baker
I remember.
Mayfield.
Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield.
that's right. That's where
when-
it started.
At
wasn't it?
Ohio State, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Oklahoma went into Ohio.
Well, they're a
State
little
beat them.
bitter.
Yeah.
They talked about,
But that same day,
There was more.
State did it at
State.
Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were several.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There were.
yeah, I don't. You know, you don't have to do that.
No.
You know, just win the game and act like you've done it before.
Yeah.
You know, that's acting like it's been 50 years since you beat that team.
Yeah.
So win the game and act like you've been there before. Mike Painter says they talked about the flag posting in the last North Carolina High School Athletic Associating meeting. So, yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
good.
But, well, what did they say? Have no part of it? That's what I'd like to know, and hopefully
Well, what do
so.
you do? You'd have to find a school maybe or find a program. I don't know what the punishment
Well,
would be.
a fine would be okay, but take the win away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
That
think
would stop it.
I don't think it would get to that point.
No.
But that, you know, when all else fails and it's not working, take that win away. See how they like that.
And we know high school players watch TV.
Sure.
Obviously, they
Sure,
see
that's
these
what I say. It
college.
trickles down.
It trickles down, that kind of behavior, and yeah.
They can find players now.
They just said here that Mike says they just told the coaches and to avoid doing it. Don't do it at all. So that's probably best. I mean, there's no
And
doubt.
it's kind
that's
of hard
best.
to plant one on the
No.
turf surface.
Yeah,
Anyway.
well, they were trying.
Yeah.
They were definitely trying. Let's see. I was trying to find some more of those games. You know, here's a couple games that we didn't talk as much about, but it's still very meaningful football. When is the championship between Montana State and North Dakota State? Do we know when that will be played?
Let's see.
A lot of games up there in that
Monday, January 6th.
Monday, January 6th. Boy, that's a long gap in between games.
Yeah.
North Dakota State in the Dome defeated South Dakota State 28-21. Very competitive game.
Mm-hmm.
A 2-touchdown win, however, from Montana State, 31-17 over South Dakota. Yes, that's South Dakota and South Dakota State, both in the Final
How
Four.
are the schools in those two states, three-state area, able to dominate the FCS every year?
Tell me.
I mean, you would think somebody else would break through occasionally. I mean, I don't know.
Well, they load up with some of the best talent
They do.
on that level, and we're talking, you know, quite a bit of NFL talent. You know, every time, you know, it seemed like every game I watch, there's a player from one of those schools, or maybe two players in the game.
And not only that, we've seen the FBS schools. They've been active in getting through the portal these FCS players. I mean, so there's a pool of talent there. It may not be quite up to the same level, but
Who you got? Montana State 15-0 on the season.
yeah.
Or North Dakota State, who is 13-2.
Where's that game being played?
Is that in
Texas.
Frisco?
Yeah. Frisco, Texas.
Frisco, Texas.
You know, when they changed from Chattanooga, that's where they went.
Yeah.
And they, you know, when Appalachian won their 3 in Chattanooga.
What's the playing venue in Frisco? Is that
It says Toyota Stadium.
Toyota Stadium?
It's not indoor, is it?
Oh.
No, not if it's where they have that Frisco
Yeah, it's
Bowl.
open.
It's,
Yeah, it's
it's
open.
outside.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a really pretty looking place.
Yeah. Yep. A couple other, let's see, some more here to mention in the, well, that goes down to last night. I just want to see if you got any comments on any other. Golly, there's a lot of games already been played. If you start going through here.
How about Syracuse ends up with a 10-win season, defeating Washington State 52-35.
They looked pretty good yesterday.
Their
didn't
quarterback looked awesome.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was a transfer from Ohio State.
453 yards and 5 touchdowns, I'd say so. Man.
Okay, I like this. Rodney sent me some information here. something we've already talked about this morning. I'm going to see if you guys can name the commonality here. Is that a word, Mike?
Yeah.
What do these have in common? We have talked about this morning. Okay. L'Jarius Sneed, Willie Rofe, Cheryl Ford, Teresa Weatherspoon, P.J. Brown, and Karl Malone, probably the most famous in that group right there. Any idea where I'm going with that?
I don't have any idea.
Has it got something to do with the Dakotas?
Graduates of the same school.
Louisiana Tech?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
All from Louisiana Tech.
Karl Malone.
Now, if you'd asked me where Karl Malone was,
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
I'd have been
no
here.
idea.
I'd have been here all week. And he's always been one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
But
I'd
have been here all week trying to
He
guess.
seemed like he could have been from North Dakota.
Yeah, he did. Louisiana Texters, Lenny said. So,
what do you think about this game Tuesday, New Year's Eve, Alabama, Michigan? Will either team be interested or motivated, you think? I would imagine Michigan will be.
Yeah, that's the problem with these.
Yeah.
Well, how many players
Opt-outs,
are there?
Opt-outs, transfers,
How many?
portal.
You don't know what you're going to get from either
I
side.
know that
It's like
Oklahoma had 25 transfer. They had 25 players in the portal for their game.
How many? 25?
25.
God, like, I just gets ridiculous.
Well, did you see the retirement speech, resignation speech
Yes,
of Jim
I did
Larinaga?
not, but I thought it was health issues when I first heard he was stepping down
No,
instantly.
He said he was
and-
sick of it.
Yeah, well, it is health issues.
That's right, in a way.
Yeah.
Mental health.
He is sick of it. There you go. So, you know what? I mean, okay. Then the first thing everybody's going to say that's
You got to adapt.
yeah. Well, you got to adapt. They'll say, "Look at his age. That's
True.
why he's
Yeah.
and that's is that one of the main reasons you saw Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, Nick Saban, some of these legendary coaches get out of it, or was it just time for them, or did that play part of it too?
Good question.
Well, some of them, yeah, I think it was a factor.
I think with Saban it more than the others.
Yeah. Well, we know Tony Bennett, Virginia, that was a factor in his decision, right?
Yeah, because he definitely wasn't at the age.
No, he was in his late 50s or 50s.
Yeah.
Coach K, I think he was just ready. I think he just.
Did Bennett do it right before the season started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he land with the TV station?
Yeah, he was. I think he was on TV last year.
Has that already been that long?
Yeah. He didn't coach last year. Wasn't he on? He
yeah.
might have just been on like the NCAA tournament coverage or something. I don't. He wasn't on like all year.
Well, there's my trivia question for the morning. Who's the head basketball coach at UVA? Because I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
No, I don't know
It's
either.
not Terry Holland, and it's not
Terry Holland. It's not
Was it Jeff Jones.
It's not
What,
Jeff Jones.
he did it for a while. I
Uh,
remember him playing too.
Yeah.
I don't remember Terry Holland playing. I will say that. Mike probably does, but I do not remember Terry Holland.
Vaguely, yeah.
Where did he play?
Davidson.
That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to say it.
He was on that great team that Lefty had Mike Malloy, Terry Holland. Yeah.
Or maybe
really-
I guess it was just this year
Fred
that he
Hetzel.
retired. I thought it was last year.
I thought it was this year. I thought, man, time is flying. If that was last year.
I thought he announced before the current season.
Yeah. Okay, that's when it was.
Yeah.
What I thought was he might have landed a TV deal had he done it sooner, because he did it right before the season started.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, he might have still been on coverage last year after Virginia was eliminated.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what I was thinking.
Right. Because he seems like he'd be really good for TV.
Yeah.
One thing Larinaga
He's
said.
not really good for watching his teams play on TV.
Anybody's better than Seth.
Oh, I know.
The most boring team in the country.
Anybody's better than Seth
Yeah.
Greenberg.
Yeah, Seth Greenberg.
But I will say this, he does know everything.
You're right about
Well,
that.
their current coach is Ron Sanchez.
Ron Sanchez.
Would have never got
No.
that.
Who is he?
Would have never. Yeah. He's the head coach at Virginia.
Was he?
Yeah, I want to have to look
Mike,
and see
there was
where-
a time.
I'm assuming he was on the staff.
Lenning probably still do this. I can't do it. But there was a time when we go through the ACC. I'd name you every
I'd
coach.
name every coach.
Yeah, in basketball and football. And now I can't name you a third of them.
I can't either.
It's got him listed as interim head coach.
Because we both remember there was a time in the ACC when coaches dominated. I mean, they were.
Well, he coached at
Flagship.
Charlotte for 6 years.
That's where I thought I heard he
Wow.
was coach at Charlotte. For
And then he was a assistant at Virginia for 2 years, or
Okay.
maybe just one season.
I hadn't seen Virginia play. I don't know whether he's changed their style of play. It was hard to watch. We all know that.
Where is we know Calipari is now in Arkansas.
Right.
Okay. And the Kentucky coach is it Pope?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Pope.
Mark Pope. Where is Rick
Patino.
Patino? Is
St.
St.
John's.
John.
He's still there.
Yep.
Still there.
Still there, as far as I
Yeah.
know.
What's their record? Anybody? I mean, are they any good? You don't even have to
Yeah, I
look at
think
their
they're pretty good.
Okay.
I don't
they're
know.
pretty good.
I don't know if they're ranked, but I think they are pretty good.
Yeah. Why are college sports not any good in the Northeast? Well, I shouldn't say.
St.
UConn
John's-
basketball is pretty good.
St. John's
Yeah.
is 10-2.
Okay.
They're
But
pretty
college
good.
football is just not.
No.
There's no powers in the Northeast. And,
Nope.
it's all more about the professional sports.
Yep.
But,
It's
always,
just high school football probably is not as don't have the same depth and quality of players. Maybe pool of talent, I guess.
Lenny reiterates what you guys said. Ron Sanchez, former coach at UNCC, is the UVA coach. Now, you know what? If I saw that man, I wouldn't know it was him.
I wouldn't either.
Wouldn't be able to do facial recognition. I don't think on Ron Sanchez. Right now, anyway. I'm trying to pick up where I left off. Some of these bowl games from earlier, or non-bowl games, but playoff games, is this one here, Notre Dame over Indiana, 27-17. We talked about that one last Saturday a little bit. Of course, Saturday was the big day. Ohio State 42-17 over Tennessee. Penn State 38-10 over SMU. And Texas 38-24 over Clemson. If you are wondering what's up next or what's up today, now Bill Belichick won't be attending the bowl that the Wasabi
I was wondering
Fenway
about that.
Bowl, even though it's in New England.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he won't be. I don't know if that's plays into it or not. But so who is coaching this for North Carolina? Mac's not, is he? I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't.
I don't know.
Do you know the answer to that, Lenny or
No
Rodney?
idea.
Who is coaching this one for the Tar Heels? They're playing UConn. UConn 8-4, North Carolina 6-6 in the Wasabi Fenway
Freddie Kitchens.
Bowl.
Freddie Kitchens.
Okay, Freddie Kitchens. Now, did he play? I might have him mixed up with somebody. There was a Freddie something that played wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. Is that the same guy or not?
No.
All right. Tell me, Freddie Kitchens.
Was that Freddie Mitchell?
It might have been. Yeah, because whoever it was didn't put me in the mind of a head coach. The one I have in my mind.
No, he was kind of a head case,
A
wasn't
little
he?
renegade, a little bit renegade. But
Freddie Kitchens played at Alabama in the 90s.
the name is so familiar. And maybe it's just because I've heard it so much here lately. I don't know.
He was a quarterback.
Okay. At Alabama? In what year?
In the 90s.
In
Yeah, I
the
don't think
90s.
Alabama was real good
Right.
then.
Must have been the who was that coach at Alabama? He played there. He was a linebacker. Mike Bowen.
No, Mike Bowens played at Langston.
No, yeah. Mike Bowen.
And Western. He did play at Western,
Yeah.
Mike Bowen. There you go. Getting you some airtime, Mike
somebody.
Bowen. Shula?
Yeah, Shula did play. Yeah, he coached
Mike
there.
Shula.
Mike Shula.
Don Shula's
Don
son was
Shula's
the
son.
was the coach
He's the
for
head-
a
yeah.
brief period
Brief
of time.
time.
Yeah.
His offensive coordinator was Bruce Arians.
Really?
You guys mentioned Virginia basketball. I'm looking at the standings. They're 7-5.
Have they scored 100 points yet this year? And I mean total, not in a game. Total. That's different coach. They might be scoring in the 70s.
Hey, he was the
now.
Browns head coach in 2019.
Shula was.
No.
Oh, Kitchens was.
Yep.
Kitchens.
He went 6-10.
Ah. Yeah. 6-10 with the Browns. That's a successful season.
Yeah.
In Cleveland.
One of their best coaches ever.
Hey, he can say, if he only had it 1 year, he can say, look, I coached in Cleveland, I coached with Browns. I wound up with only 10 losses in my career. And that's about the way I'd leave it, you know.
He's been all over the place. A lot of NFL jobs as just position coaches. But obviously he's just getting this one game at North Carolina. So
Over the last
really?
30 years, has Cleveland had more coaches or quarterbacks? I mean, it's going to be quarterbacks. I'm pretty sure, but I bet coaches is not a whole lot. You know, maybe every 1 year for a quarterback to 2 years for a coach. I bet it's pretty close to that, just a 2-to-1 ratio.
You talk about Cleveland franchise, but after watching that 6-3 game between Seattle and Chicago, that set football back about 20 years.
Oh, that was.
The Bears are in horrible shape.
Well, it'll be back.
Franchise.
It might have set it back 20 years, but it'll be back today. Aren't there games today?
Yeah.
I'm protesting NFL on weekdays.
Yeah.
Other than Monday night.
Yeah. I'm
not watching them.
I don't like it.
You know what, though?
I didn't watch any this week.
Netflix. What did Netflix have? That was basketball, wasn't it? They did basketball.
I don't know.
I'm getting into basketball. Yeah.
Netflix had the 2 NFL
Yeah, they
games.
had
Did they? Was
On
it
Christmas
Netflix?
Day.
Okay.
And they were both awful.
But so did the old VC box. It had them as well. But you're right. But let me say one thing about those games and when they're played and all that kind of stuff. It don't matter to the Kansas City Chiefs.
No.
It don't matter when you want to play. If you want to play in 3 a.m. in the morning, it don't matter where you want to play. They're not losing ball games. They're just not into losing football.
Is there a
games.
certain inevitability about them winning it? I mean, who's going to beat them? They've got home field.
Hard to bet against them.
Yeah. And I will say this: I think the better teams. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. The better challengers are in the AFC, such as Baltimore and Buffalo.
You think so? Yeah.
So if you get past that, I think no matter who the NFC sends at you, they're probably going to beat them.
Yeah, I thought Detroit might be the best
Yeah.
team, but they've just got so many injuries now.
They probably got
don't know
6
if they are.
guys. They probably got 6 starters that won't be back. And yeah,
Maybe we're underrating the Vikings.
they were the best team for a while. I don't know the Vikings. I don't know if they can score enough points. You know, I mean, they could score enough points to beat Chicago or Seattle.
They've got better weapons than the Chiefs,
Yep.
but they don't have a better quarterback than the Chiefs.
Yeah. And most of that just rides on Jefferson, you know. And any one of these teams, any one of those NFL teams are an injury
Yeah, but
away from
Addison's been great.
Yeah, he has.
And
the tight end.
Aaron Jones, Hawkinson.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're good. They got a lot of good.
They got a great coach. I will
Offensive
say
players.
that. O'Connell. I think he's one of the best coaches.
I don't know. I'm just pulling for the teams that are going to make the playoffs that have never won a Super Bowl. It would be great for the Vikings, Detroit. Who else? Buffalo's never won one.
Yep. Okay, if you had your choice and it worked out that way and it was Detroit facing Buffalo,
Oh, it'd be, yeah.
which one would you want to win?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't pull for either one. I'd
And
be happy for either one.
And you know what the worst
Yeah,
part
I'd be
about
happy
it
for
is?
either city.
The worst part about it is one of them's going to lose.
I know.
Yeah.
If they
Again,
both get there,
again.
right? One of them. Well, Detroit won't lose again.
No, because they've never been there.
They've never
But
been there,
Buffalo's been
but-
there, what, 4 times?
I
3
think
years?
it would be more of a stepping stone for Detroit
Yeah.
than it would Buffalo. It would just be, oh boy, here we go again. Their fans would think like, we're back in the 90s
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
the team went 4 in a row
That's right.
and lost all 4. And had they won that first one, who knows what they might have done? But the wide right, wasn't that the famous quote in the game?
That's right, wide right.
The field goal went wide right that would have beat the Giants.
Hmm.
And
That was the only
it
close
didn't.
game they had. They were blown out. Of course, they had the misfortune of being good when Dallas had its juggernaut, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that correct?
If it ended today, Buffalo would have to beat Baltimore and Kansas
Yeah.
City to get there.
Yeah.
They're going to have to beat
Tough.
both of them.
That's
On the
tough.
road, both on the road?
No, Buffalo's the 2.
Okay,
So
okay.
Baltimore would be at home.
Yep. Had to go to Kansas City, though. But I don't think Kansas City, they really – I think it's a great home field advantage most of the time, but this team plays the same they're not dominant at home.
Yeah.
They just beat you by 7 or less.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like every all their wins have been by one possession just about. But but they find a way to do it each and every week. They find a way to do it. It's time for our first time out. I got my lyrics pulled up. I'll go ahead and go with them first. I'll tell you this, Mike, you better get it. Brett, you have no chance. And I may be wrong on both that. I may have it just exactly opposite.
Brett's he knows 60s music.
Yeah.
If that's where you're going.
I don't even know the year, but it's probably right in that time.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, you're going to know these words right off the bat. Brett may know the words. I'm just not sure he'll know the artist. I would say Lanny's 50-50 because I don't know if he knows this person or not. Oh,
person, you gave it away.
Call out the instigators because there's something in the air. Back in a moment.
An equal housing lender.
Beauchamps, I have a toothache. Where should I go?
Well, Tim, I'd go to John Cloninger Dentistry in Lincolnton. He takes care of all my dental needs. Cleanings and deep cleanings, crowns, bridges, fillings, dentures. He can even help you with your sleep apnea.
And guess what, Bo? He has a partner, Dr. Aaron Hevner.
That's right, Tim. Stop in at Dr. John Cloninger's Dentistry today to let Dr. Irvin Hevner and John brighten your smile.
John Cloninger Dentistry, 904 Doncha Drive, Lincolnton. Hours Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or call 704-735-0765.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for their great deals on items you use around the house. Need to update around the kitchen? Then shop a great selection of appliances and some up to 30% off retail prices. Buy Craftsman's 20-volt max battery and get your choice of matching Craftsman cordless tool free. Update your workshop area with a wide selection of shop tools, only $99 each. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Shop Lowe's in Lincolnton for the things you want to buy today.
Rhodes & Bill Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodes & Bill Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesandbill.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook, too.
For where two or three have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. Matthew 18:20. You are invited to gather with us at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school meets at 10, and worship follows at 11 every Sunday. Follow us on Facebook for special service announcements. Join us Sunday at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. Discussions get a little long in between segments there. Let's see. I do not have any guesses except from Brett, and it's funny about my lyrics here is what I'm getting at. What is funny is Brett knew. You didn't really know it because of the artist himself, right? You knew it because it's on a Tom Petty album, and I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So, and now when it's on a Tom Petty album, that means Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, they're playing it, right? I mean, they covered it.
Yeah.
Okay. Call out
it's
the
on Tom
instigators because there's something in the air.
Yeah.
I did not realize till this morning when I looked, this man's African American.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure. I saw a picture.
I didn't even know if that was the name of a person or if that was just the name of a band because it's a really weird name.
It is
I
a
can't
weird
think
name.
of the name. Of course, the song, I think I know.
Well, the last name you hear a lot yelled out loud on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So if you're a Seinfeld fan, that last name ought to be pretty easy.
It was definitely during the late 60s.
Oh, yeah.
Counterculture.
Yeah.
Thing.
Call out the instigators because there's something in the air. We've got to get together sooner or later because the revolution's here. See, Mike, you know it.
Yep.
And you know it's right, and you know that it's right. We have to get together. We have to get together now. Yeah, I'm going to leave that one.
Think of the artist.
I'm going to leave that one out there a little bit. Weird name.
I know.
He's the only person with this first name on earth.
No, it's not his real name.
I know. It might, like you said, it might just be the
his
band
name is Andy.
The band name, but
which halftime show was better, Beyonce or the
oh
Young
Lord,
Rascals?
I didn't see the Young Rascals,
It
but
was good.
but if it beat Beyonce, it was $1 million. So because that was
solid.
Beyonce's halftime show was one of the best I've ever seen.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people. A lot of people were going to hate it no matter what the situation. You know, they checked it off before they even watched it. And I'm guessing there's a lot of people said they hated it that didn't even watch it. But it was
the
as
guy's
for a show. It was great.
The guy's a white British guy.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they had a different picture up there.
So you're saying his first name
is strange.
Is the strange part of it.
A nickname. And it's the band name.
I give you a hint, Mike. His first name has part of it has to do with weather. Now,
weather.
something to do with weather.
Something to do with weather.
Yeah, the first part of it.
I got the artist.
Okay.
Stormcloud Newman.
That's his brother.
Stormcloud Newman.
Boom! There's your hint.
Yep.
Thunderclap.
There you go.
Thunderclap.
Pete Townsend was in that band.
Thunderclap Newman. Pete Townsend was in his band. I did not know that. See, I didn't know much about it. Now, what I'd like to know, is that the guy's name or is it just the band name?
Both.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Andy Thunderclap Newman.
Okay. Thunderclap is nickname. I
And
hope.
Thunderclap Newman is the band's name also.
And he was British.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell him about a one-hit wonder.
You better believe
That's
it.
probably the definition right there of one.
Yeah, that defines it.
Mm-hmm. Yukon, North Carolina, 11 a.m. That is today. Do you realize those games are today? Boston College and Nebraska. Good to see Nebraska back in the bowl picture at least.
Even though they're 6-6.
Yeah, well, hey, it's the first time they've been 6-6, like in 5 or 6 years. So
they were bowl eligible.
Yep. I really think that they're getting the program turned back around a little bit. Matt Rule.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. Was he Baylor before he went to the NFL?
Yeah.
And before that, he was.
Well, he didn't go to the NFL. He went to the Panthers.
Okay.
Minor league.
But hey, they played a lot better. I got to give them credit and their coach credit. The second half of the year, they've been a competitive football team.
Yeah.
The Panthers have.
Oh yeah.
And it's most of those games they knew they were going to lose, but here lately they just felt like they I don't know what Tar Heels.
Immediately fall.
Oh, after us. That's early. That is early because of 11 a.m. kickoff right here on this station, right here on WLON. The Tar Heels and Yukon. I think that might be a March Madness basketball matchup as well.
If they played today in basketball, I'd probably watch it. I'm not watching them play football.
No.
It won't be.
Although the Fenway, it is at Fenway, which is can be neat.
Yeah, the best park of any kind in the United States
on the East Coast.
He's here where he got me there.
Yeah,
on the East Coast. Dodger Stadium will be a close third.
One coming up, NC State,
Wrigley.
East Carolina.
I was going to go through them all here real
Corps
quick.
ball.
Louisiana taking on TCU. Iowa State taking on Miami. Would Miami have made a better showing in the playoffs than SMU? We'll never know. It's just in theory.
I think so because you got Cam Ward, who had a terrific season at quarterback. I just think offensively they would present it.
And Penn State started with 2 interceptions returned for touchdown. That's how they got the big lead to start the game.
I saw them both.
Yeah, you're not going to come back from that.
And I wasn't even really watching the game real close, but I saw both those pick sixes happen. Miami, one thing about it, they're known really as a villain. For how good they were back in the heyday. What were the best years of them? 90s.
Yeah.
Late 80s.
80s, 90s, yeah. Even early 2000s when they were loaded with NFL players.
But they would draw TV viewers because you either hate them or you love them, And so I don't know. Can they build on what they did this year? The coach there is the guy that was at
Cristobal. Yeah, came from Oregon.
Cristobal, yeah. I think so. Of course, they got a great quarterback in the portal. Now, was Ward just going to be there for 1 year?
I think so.
Run out of eligibility, yeah. Because he was at Washington State before. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know.
Here's the hardest thing there is to do. Can he build on what he did this past season? A 10-2 record. Of course, they're hoping that it winds up 11-2. Iowa State's a good team. Always solid, 10-3 on the season. To me, if I'm going to pick one game to watch today, that's probably it.
Well, you don't know who's playing on each side. That's the bad thing. Is
I'll tell
Cam
you
Ward
best.
playing for Miami? Because it really changes things if he's not.
Yeah. Best named bowl, I think, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. East Carolina versus NC State.
Snoop Dogg's on everything.
Everywhere.
Tell me. I mean,
he is.
The older he gets, the more popular he is.
That thing when he was at the Paris Olympics, that is just mushroom for him, and he's everywhere on TV.
Miami's number 1 in the nation in points per game and yards per game.
Yeah, but
they average 44 points and 550 yards.
Where do they rank on the defensive side of the
24th in yards allowed.
That's not bad.
No, that's pretty good.
It
and
is.
60th in points, but that's,
well, that means, I don't know.
You could be 2 points away from being in the top 20. They give up 24 points a game.
Well, that's not too bad. And usually if you're a team that scores a lot, you're giving the ball, giving them more opportunities.
Yeah.
So, I would say it's not bad at all.
But they have nobody but to blame for themselves. They lost to Georgia Tech and Syracuse.
Thank you, Mike, because I was just getting ready to say who were their 2 losses, too.
Yep.
And, with one of those losses, they would have got in the playoffs. But with 2 of them.
Yeah, they only lost 1.
It knocked them
out.
out.
What really hurt them was their non-conference schedule. They played USF, University of South Florida, Ball State, FAMU. Who's that?
Florida A&M.
Yeah.
The Rattlers.
And Florida.
Yeah.
Florida was their best win.
Yeah.
And they played Florida before Florida.
Yeah, first game of the year.
Yeah, before they really Florida ended the season strong.
Yeah.
So they played Florida before they really hit
and in
their
the
stride.
conference, they didn't play SMU.
No, didn't play Clemson.
Didn't play Clemson.
They beat Louisville. Louisville and Duke, probably their 2 best wins in conference.
They barely
Duke overtime?
Nah, they blew them out.
Okay.
They had so many close wins. Barely beat Virginia Tech, beat California by 1.
But Mike, to me that's a sign of good coaching.
Yeah.
Winning the close games,
That's
winning
true.
the one possession games.
Yeah, they did do that.
It's easy to coach and win the blowouts, but when you win those one possession games, just like Andy Reid, and of course a lot of it's got to do with the quarterback too. But winning those one possession games is what makes or breaks your season.
Of course, we now know that Syracuse was a pretty good team, and the game was at Syracuse. But that's one that really cost them. 42-38 loss to the Orangemen.
Well, here's another one. Who's the head coach at Syracuse?
Again, I can't say.
Yeah, I don't know who their basketball or their football coach is.
No.
Right off the tip of my tongue.
I just saw their football coach last night, and I already forgot who it was.
He's probably in for a contract extension.
I think they finished strong. They really finished strong. Let's see. The last one we mentioned there, 3:30 today, Iowa State taking on Miami. And then you got Miami of Ohio. Let's not get confused here, playing Colorado State, as Mike said, in that Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. East Carolina and NC State. Great matchup for a bowl. Mm-hmm. You know, if you want to watch one that's a rivalry and the teams will get after it.
Right.
NC State and East Carolina at 5:45 today. Go Bowling Military Bowl. This is the one that I'm interested to see. Brigham Young and Colorado.
Yeah.
10-2 BYU, 9-3 Colorado. Dion says his players didn't sign up to opt out of the bowl game, that they will all be playing. Love it.
I do too.
Can't get any better than that.
Well, now, what's his future? A lot of speculation about him.
Now?
Fran Brown, coach of Syracuse.
Fran Brown coaches
He was
Syracuse
the
football
Georgia defensive backs coach before taking over. Can you guess where he played in college?
Well, it must be Elon.
No, but you're on the right track. It's local. Mike is wearing their colors right now.
Ooh.
Western Carolina.
Western Carolina.
And still couldn't get it.
No, I didn't give him time.
We gave our football coach an extension. We had a winning record this year. At Western.
He was a defensive back at Western and played for the Bengals for 2 years.
BYU, Colorado. That's one that if everything works out, my eyes will be on that one at 7:30 tonight. I think that's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And speaking of Deion's future at this point, Mike, I don't know. I mean, now the teams have flip-flopped. The Giants right now have the first pick in the NFL draft. The Raiders are number 2. I know you can't tell teams don't go out there, but don't try to win, because that's not in their DNA. But the Raiders, okay, let me ask you guys this. If Sanders is the number 1 quarterback on the board, who's number 2? And see, everybody's blank. That's it.
I don't know.
That's it.
I mean, it's not a great draft for QB.
No. And maybe there's names out there I don't know about, but I'm telling you, once you say Shedeur Sanders, my mind goes blank when it comes to.
Well, how about Cam Ward? Is he?
Yeah, he's got to be one of
them. Trying to think of other.
Yeah, this says Jalen Milroe, Alabama. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Garrett Nussmeier, LSU.
I was going to say him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's just games I watched him play that he just did not look real smooth. Maybe I don't know.
We know Milroe's a great athlete, but is he that great a passer? I mean,
and I was talking about the LSU guy. What was his name again?
Nussmeier.
Nussmeier, yeah. I want to read a few comments real quick while you're looking at stuff there, Brett. From Lenny, Kitchens was on Mac Brown's staff for 2 years and will be retained by Belichick after the bowl game on the UNC staff. Lenny says Sanchez was on the UVA staff for several years and went to UNCC as a head coach. After leaving UNCC, he returned to Virginia, retaining his assistant position. Lenny also says, here's a name from the past. I don't have internet this morning, so I'm not positive, but I think former Burt Jones target wide receiver Roger Carr. I remember Roger Carr.
Yeah.
Played at Louisiana Tech. Okay, I don't know about that one.
Roger Carr.
We'll have to ask Rodney Willis. He was the one sending me some names. Roger Carr. He might not have remembered Roger Carr. Rodney's
Yeah,
young.
Louisiana Tech.
Okay. And Fran Brown, Lenny says, is Syracuse coach, former Georgia assistant, as we learned a little earlier.
And he's got a son on the team, it says. Fran Brown Jr.
Let's see. Morning broadcast. A couple from Ned here. Agree with Brett. The NFL and Goodell can't care about player health with teams not getting a week off between games to heal up. Yeah. They made sure those two teams had their 3 days. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Because they played 4 teams participated in the Thursday games, right? Mm-hmm. And then they participated in the when were those?
No, it was Saturday and then Wednesday.
Saturday and Wednesday.
The
same teams.
Same
teams
yeah,
played.
Yeah, they
because
just
nobody else would have had 3 days rest if they would have played other teams.
I don't recall just playing on 3 days rest.
Just scratch the 3 days rest.
Well, they play Sunday and then Thursday.
Yeah, that's true.
So
every Thanksgiving Day.
That's true.
Well, all year now there's 2 teams play on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I don't really love that.
I don't love that.
Well, I'm just saying it goes way back. Other teams don't like it either. You can tell.
I would rather have a good
the
college
production is
matchup on
down.
Thursday night than the NFL game.
Is there not one? Or are they
Not
just
a lot of
kinda
good college matchups during the week
not good
anymore.
ones?
Yeah.
Okay, there are college games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the international NFL games.
No, I don't
You
like
guys
that either.
No,
But there are 3
that's here
NFL
to
games
stay,
today,
though. That's here to stay at international.
and
stuff.
I'm
They fill
happy
it up.
about that.
Yeah.
I don't mind NFL on Saturday. I
No.
just don't like it during the week.
You know,
Yep,
one
you
thing
got
about the international games, it's the Jaguars and somebody.
Yeah.
It seems like they played in 3 of them. Maybe I don't know if they did or not, but it just seemed like every time I watched.
Yeah, I know.
the
Well, at
game,
one point they had back-to-back.
yeah, they just stayed. Didn't
London
they?
games.
Yeah, or it was in Europe anyway, and were they both in London?
I think theirs were. The Panthers played in Germany, right? Panthers and Giants.
And there's a positive that for the players, those people may never take a trip like that, and they get to stay there for a week.
Well, I was going to mention one of these bowl games that's already happened. Coastal Carolina played in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. What
long travel?
would you want to play? I would want to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
wouldn't
seen
want
your
to
own
play
stadium.
in my own
right?
stadium.
I think they should have went to Boise.
Yeah.
Played on that blue field.
And they got blown out.
Did they?
Yeah, but I would just want to go somewhere else.
I agree. That's the whole point of a bowl trip.
That'd be like App playing in the Boone Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yep.
They're gonna put you in a bowl, but you're not going anywhere. The only time you should play at home should be a playoff game, right? Yeah, that doesn't really. I don't. What do you do there? I mean, I know they're probably glad to be playing. I mean, there's some positives about playing. At
I wonder
home,
what their
especially
stadium
over the
holds.
holidays.
Because the
don't know.
attendance was 8,000.
You know, holds more than that.
Yeah, it's got to.
I'd say maybe 30,000.
So they didn't even have it.
Yeah, I
They
was
didn't even
gonna
have a
say,
decent crowd for their
my first
home
thought
bowl
was
game.
it holds at least 3 times that.
Another thing, what have you guys noticed
They don't mean
watching
anything.
some of these games? Have they been well attended? I've seen some pretty sparse ones.
The only ones I really watched were the playoff games.
But one of the playoff games, wasn't Penn State kind of empty?
Nah,
at the
surely
top?
not.
I know. I wouldn't think that either. But maybe it was just a
Well,
shot
I can
saw
see
that
what
was
the
earlier.
attendance was.
Well, it holds over 100, right?
Right at 100, I
There
think.
was a lot of white. I do know that.
The attendance was 106.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
106,000.
wasn't many seats empty then.
Nah.
I'm going to say it was probably filled up. Penn State is still a strong football tradition. You know, the fans up there pretty loyal. And you'd be
Texas
surprised.
attendance was 101,000.
We have been to Penn State,
Yep.
and you talking about out in the country. You know,
It is.
Honestly, this is no lie. Did we not park in a cow pasture?
Yeah.
We did.
We parked in a cow
Yeah.
pasture.
Yep.
They opened the gates on football days, moved the cattle, and we parked in the cow pasture at Penn State.
Happy Valley.
Let's see. I was going to see what else Ned had to say here. For the sake of TV, NFL is wearing out potential playoff teams just to have a TV game during the holidays. I'm going to say this about this. One thing, Ned, you got to remember. There is a thing called the collective bargaining agreement, and the NFL players all voted for this to happen. So, got to remember that. I can hear the song, and I know it from somewhere. He's talking about the old Thunderclap Newman there, but I don't have an answer. Or what did Lanny call him?
Storm Cloud.
Storm Cloud Newman.
That's his brother. I like it. Storm Cloud Newman. Time for us to take our second time out. Who's going with the lyrics here? All right.
Well, I got 2 in mind.
Oh Lord. Well, just don't give more than 2 lines.
Okay. Baby, we can talk all night.
God, you don't even need to go any
nowhere.
further. You don't even need to go any further. That's a Simple Simon right there. You got that one, Brett? I know Laney does. All right, we're gonna take a timeout. We'll be back here in just a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Beauchamps, I have a toothache. Where should I go?
Well, Tim, I'd go to John Cloninger Dentistry in Lincoln. He takes care of all my dental needs. Cleanings and deep cleanings, crowns, bridges, fillings, dentures. He can even help you with your sleep apnea.
And guess what, Bo? He has a partner, Dr. Aaron Hevner.
That's right, Tim. Stop in at Dr. John Cloninger's Dentistry today to let Dr. Irvin Hevner and John brighten your smile.
John Cloninger Dentistry, 904 Doncha Drive, Lincoln. Hours Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or call 704-735-0765.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for their great deals on items you use around the house. Need to update around the kitchen? Then shop a great selection of appliances and some up to 30% off retail prices. Buy Craftsman's 20-volt max battery and get your choice of matching Craftsman cordless tool free. Update your workshop area with a wide selection of shop tools, only $99 each. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Shop Lowe's in Lincolnton for the things you want to buy today.
Rhodes & Bill Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodes & Bill Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesandbill.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook, too.
For where 2 or 3 have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. Matthew 18:20. You are invited to gather with us at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school meets at 10, and worship follows at 11 every Sunday. Follow us on Facebook for special service announcements. Join us Sunday at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church.
All right, here we go. I was going to wait on this, but I'm going to go ahead and let you think about it, okay? I know what yours is already. Favorite sports moment of 2024.
Oh, yeah. That's an easy one.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what Mike's is.
Not a lot. Not a lot to say, really. Oh boy, I think about it. A bit.
Favorite sports moment of 20.
Speaking of that, the Dodgers re-signed Teoscar Hernandez.
I saw
yesterday.
that. I saw that. Yeah, I was hoping he would be in a Fenway Park regular, but no, they. What percentage would you say of free agents?
And did I see
stay with
Corbin Burns is going to Arizona?
It sounds like an actor. Every time I hear that name, I think that's an actor and not a baseball player. But I don't know.
I think I saw that.
Where was he?
When I woke up, like in the middle of the night. No, he was with Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Just for 1 year.
Our baseball expert, Lenny, will know who is.
Yeah, Diamondback. 6 years, $210 million.
Oh, wow. What? 210?
No, this says... Okay, 8 hours ago says Corbin Burns agrees to 6 years, $210 million deal with Diamondbacks. 1 hour ago says Toronto Blue Jays outbid Arizona Diamondbacks for Corbin Burns.
Maybe they both.
Oh, okay. So they offered him more. He decided to take less and go to Arizona.
That's weird, isn't it? Anytime you say somebody took less, that's weird. That's weird. That makes it weird.
Due to taxes. He's
going
to keep more in Arizona. It says Toronto and the Giants offered him more.
You have to think about that whenever you sign those contracts. If you're going to be in a place that don't have state tax.
But he's been, over the last 5 years, he's been one of the best couple pitchers in baseball.
So that's one of those cases where less equals more. Right?
Yeah. I would have rather him stayed in the American League.
There are a few of those out there. Less equals more. Just think about it, though. I know what Brett's is, and obviously the Dodgers winning the World Series is his favorite moment in sports. And Mike and I will have a tougher time, I think.
Immediately nothing international strikes me as my favorite moment. I got to think closer to
Lenny
home.
and I were very excited when the Red Sox won a game in this past season, but actually they played pretty good at times. So,
well, how about when the Yankees lost? Could that have been your best?
There's a very good chance. There's a very good chance.
That had nothing to do with the Dodgers, just the Yankees losing.
Was.
Or the Yankee meltdown in Game 5.
Or Green Bay knocking the Cowboys out of the NFL playoffs.
Blew them out.
Yeah, way back in January.
Yes, when we were at Disney World.
We were at Disney World when that happened, yeah. That had to be a pretty good moment. If you're at Disney World and the Cowboys lose, that's pretty strong. That'd be hard to beat. UConn three-peating. Not yet. That's next year. UConn winning back-to-back has to be a big sports moment.
Yep.
But is it the biggest in this? Probably not. You know what I mean? In this past year.
Well, the Chiefs also went back-to-back in this calendar year.
Roger says his, and people can go ahead and send these. I like to get your favorite sports moments of the year. Roger says favorite sports moment, obviously he's a Volunteer fan, was Tennessee winning the College World Series.
Yep.
That is always fun to watch. Last year it got a little chippy. Which teams was it when it was you remember that? They were playing in the College World Series and it who were those two teams? And it was
not in the championship?
It may not have been. It just seemed like there was almost an all-out brawl there at one time. I don't know if it's LSU and somebody or who Tennessee beat in the finals. You might have to help us with that, Roger.
Probably another SEC.
It might have been
team, but I don't.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember. Carolina made a run, didn't they? They were.
Yeah, I don't know.
One of my favorite athletes to watch, and I hate, Carolina people think I'm lying, but one of my favorite athletes to watch is the center fielder from Salisbury, help me with his name, Brett.
Vance Honeycutt.
Yeah, Vance Honeycutt. Ever since I saw him play football in high school, he's really fun to watch. Now he left, didn't he? Did he depart?
I don't know.
Chapel Hill and get drafted? That's a Lenny question. Thank you, Roger. Tennessee beat. I'd have never come up with this.
A&M.
Yep.
A&M.
Texas A&M in the finals. I don't know if I would have ever come up with that. Monty Mossteller says, he says, please cut. Monty still calls Brett Little Man from the
Little Man
childhood days. Please cut Little Man's mic off talking about the Yankees. Well, I don't have control. He's got control over my mic. I don't have any control.
He's the master control guy.
Over his mic. Let's see. Clemson. Ned tells me Clemson. So what would that be the answer to? Is that the fight? Was that the game that there was a...
I don't know. Well, they weren't in the World Series.
Yeah, and Ned also says Honeycutt was drafted in the first round by the Orioles. So
okay,
he is going to be gone. Now I won't like him because he's going to be playing against my Red Sox in hopefully some meaningful games, but who knows. Yes, Roger, I got that. They beat Texas A&M. But yeah. Oh, never mind. It looked like he sent that twice, but he
it
only
looks
sent
like
it one
the
time.
World Series was all SEC and ACC.
Yeah, it was. It was 4 from each.
Yeah,
it was 4 from each.
Carolina, Virginia State, and Florida State, and then Florida, A&M, Kentucky, and Tennessee.
But not Florida A&M.
No, not Florida.
Yeah.
Not the Rattlers. But okay, so the finals were A&M and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, that's what I couldn't remember. What I can remember is seeing Coach Bobby Reynolds in a prime seat.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year in Omaha, he's got a prime seat where he's on TV, checking out the College World Series most seasons. Anyway, I can't remember the last time he didn't go. So to check that out, I still would like to get out to Omaha sometime and see that. BYU, Colorado's where we left off. Louisiana Tech and Army is a
and Army's like a prohibitive favorite.
9:15 game tonight, and that one is going to be in Missouri. Is that where the Independence Bowl is? Surely it is.
Where it
right?
should be.
Yeah, Independence, Missouri.
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh boy,
Is it really?
Independence Stadium.
But boy, think about it. That's where you go. Shreveport, Louisiana.
Well, Louisiana Tech basically playing at home.
That used to be the home of the Poulan Weed Eater Independence Bowl, Shreveport.
Yeah, Army a
What do you do
14.5
point
point favorite.
there for a week? I can't imagine.
And Brett, tell me this. I don't know if I can. I don't know. Let's see if I can get to the next week or not. Oh, here we go. Well, this is taking me the wrong
Yeah,
direction.
I see one game Monday. Iowa and Missouri in the Music City Bowl.
Obviously Nashville, right?
Just one game on Monday.
Yeah, one game Monday. Then Tuesday's got several, including a playoff game.
Okay, that must be late at night then. That would be Penn State, Boise State.
Yeah, they play at 7:30 Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday's lineup's pretty good.
That's the game that intrigues me in some ways. That Boise State, group of 5. What, will they give Penn State a game? I mean, or can they beat Penn State? They got that great running back, which I haven't seen him play. But
It's in Arizona, right? Is that what we said? What Brett said, or did he say? I see it now.
That
Fiesta
is the
Bowl.
Fiesta Bowl.
Fiesta.
Boy, I tell you. Okay.
Well,
Boise State's an underdog. Let's do it this way to start with. Texas plays Arizona State. Just by seeding, Arizona State's the favorite, but I don't see it that way.
No.
Texas is. I don't
This
see a line
this is the
on
biggest
here.
spread out of all of them.
Is it really?
13.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ohio State and Oregon. I'm going to guess Oregon might be favored by a point.
they're not.
They're not
Ohio
favored?
State by 2.5.
By 2.5. Notre Dame, Georgia by 3.
2.
2.
And Penn State's favored by 11.
Yeah. Okay. So of the 4 underdogs, which one do you think is more likely to win? That would be Boise State. That would be Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Oregon. And that would be Notre Dame. The most likely
I'm going to go
winner.
Oregon, which I can't believe
I'm not.
they're not, because they've already defeated Ohio State at home.
That's why I'm not going with Oregon.
Okay.
Because they beat Ohio State by what, 1?
32-31.
Yeah, by 1.
It is hard to beat somebody
Right. That's
twice
true.
when it's that close already. And I put it this way. If Ohio State plays with a chip on their shoulder like they did last week, they're winning it.
Yeah.
They're winning it.
They're winning the
now, I don't know. They're not going to be at home.
No.
They're going to be, but obviously a neutral
In the
site.
Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, I still think Oregon got blitzed.
They did. They shouldn't even be in that game.
Why should they have? I mean,
if they're number 1 right now, they should be playing Boise
Arizona
State.
State.
they don't get a
Boise State,
quarterfinal game at home? Or
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to do away with the seeding the top 4 conference champions. Just seed them by their rank.
I think Notre Dame has a chance against Georgia, but that's still not the one I would go with.
Well, then, by the process of limit, you must mean, are you going with Boise State?
Or Arizona State. It's
Okay.
one of the two. I still got those 2 left, and to be quite honest, you said that's the biggest spread?
Arizona State, yeah.
And how much is it?
13.
Have you guys seen the running back from Arizona State?
Oh, yeah, he's good.
He's a
beast.
monster, yeah.
He's a beast. I thought Texas looked good at times against Clemson, but they had some lapses too, where their defense was,
Yeah. Well, Clemson came back to cut it to, 31-24.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was that close a game, but
I think that's the blowout.
Do you?
Yeah.
You think Texas rolls them?
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, if they put it all together, I agree. Arizona State won the Big 12, right?
Yep, they did. And they blew out Iowa State
Yeah.
in the championship game, 45-19.
I'm going with Boise State.
All right.
My upset pick. You guys have an upset pick or no?
Well, I'm taking Notre Dame to beat
There you
Georgia. I mean,
It's just that Notre Dame, when they've been in these situations in the past, I keep going back to the year they played Alabama. Remember that? Who was the linebacker? That undefeated Notre Dame team.
Well, I'll say this about this, though. I think this Notre Dame team's much more talented.
Yeah.
And this Georgia team is not as good
Not
as
as-
that Alabama team.
Yeah.
no, that
I'll buy
Alabama
that.
team was loaded.
I will buy that.
But I'm not saying the same thing can't happen, but
No, any of these
It
games
shouldn't.
could end up
It
in a
shouldn't.
blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't expect many of them to.
yeah. As a fan, I mean, I'm sitting here hoping all but one of them are, one possession wins.
Yeah, I think
and I know
Notre-
you guys know which one I'm not hoping is a one possession win.
I think Notre Dame in the trenches can match up pretty good with Georgia.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's where they've been shorthanded.
Brett said Notre Dame lost their best defensive lineman.
Yeah,
This
in the
week.
last game.
Yeah,
Okay,
got hurt in the last
that
game.
hurts.
It does. I mean, but I know. Some
And
of these
Georgia's
kids
Georgia's
opt out.
quarterback's really an unknown. He hadn't really
that's
hadn't
right.
really
Yeah,
seen
he
him
said
yet.
it kind of equals it out
Yeah.
because you don't know what you're getting.
Both
there.
teams
But
have big-time
That's
injuries.
also really
It makes it harder to game plan
Yes,
against
yes,
him
it
because you
does.
don't
That's
know
what
you
I
don't
was
really
gonna
know what he
say
can
is-
do.
it's tough to know his tendencies.
Both of these
and stuff.
teams, it's going to be important to stop the run. I mean, that's going to be.
And I'll
the
say
key
this
on
about
both
Georgia
sides.
too: they probably don't recruit too many bad quarterbacks.
No,
And that's what I'm saying.
to come
He's,
in, so-
he's obviously talented.
Might be the heir apparent, So, thank you, Ned. Ned says it was Clemson and Florida in that baseball game where the brawl, the dugout clearing incident back in the Super Regional.
Oh,
so that
okay.
wasn't even in the World Series. He says that was in the Super.
if I was going to bet on one of these underdogs to win, I would take Oregon. I mean, they're undefeated and the number one team in the country, and they're
That's what I was saying.
getting points.
Well, that's the one I hope mostly does win.
But I think that's pretty even matchup. They might be the two best teams in it.
Right. And that's why they shouldn't be facing each other in this round. I don't know.
know.
The seeding has got to get.
Don't like the matchup.
Yeah.
But I think
Gotta get
Texas
better.
is getting overlooked a little bit. That's why I think they could blow out Arizona State because Texas is really good.
Well, you know what? One of these is going to be really tight and probably maybe even go to overtime, and there's going to be one of them that is a 20-point win. You know, just don't know which one. One of them most likely will be a 20-point
I would
win.
guess Notre Dame and Georgia will be pretty low scoring and probably stay close the whole game.
Yep. And here's what you can't predict for either one of them, any game, turnovers.
Yeah.
You know, turnovers in critical spots when you're going into the end zone or when you're deep in your own territory. That's huge, and you cannot predict turnovers. Jason says, let's see, good morning. Personal favorite sports moment for 2024 was the Hail Mary at the end. I bet it was. Brett's too. The Hail Mary at the end of the Commanders and Bears.
I started to say just drafting Jaden Daniels was one of my top sports moments of the year because he's so far he looks like they made the right decision, and so did New England, I think.
Oh, no
Drake
doubt.
May.
Yeah. He's you know.
Did you guys know that Chicago was 5-2 when they lost that game? They were playing well.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't won since then, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so. What, 10 in a row? How many is it in a row? They have
Is it that many in a row?
I think it's about 8, maybe.
8 at least. 5-10. Does that sound right? Something like that.
They're 4-12.
4-12.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They were just 4-2 at that point then.
Yeah, but they were off to a good start.
Yeah.
Counting that game, they've lost 10 in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they were 4-2.
And what's the deal with Chicago coaches and clock management?
Oh yeah, it was awful again.
It was
on that last drive.
It really was.
They do not know how to read a clock in Chicago. They need better training at how to read a clock. And that was ugly again just a few days ago. Lenny says, I think Neb was referring to the Clemson, Florida series being very chippy in baseball. Mike, did we ever answer your lyrics?
No.
Didn't give it on the air.
Give them again.
Not on the air.
Give them again. Give them one more time, and then we'll tell them what they were. I don't know if people. I know Ned answered correctly. And
okay, baby, we can talk all night, but that ain't getting us nowhere.
Yeah, I thought we would have just a lot of answers on that one. Meatloaf. 2 out of 3. Ain't bad.
Ain't bad.
Yeah.
I want you, I need you, but I just can't love you.
Something like that. Meatloaf. Of course, we're going to get to Brett's here in just a couple minutes. Still trying to think of some of those really, really good sports moments of the the Olympics, and I can't remember the names.
I was trying to think of something in the Olympics that might have.
Yeah. Wasn't there a handicapped person in what was the deal with that? The handicapped person in the Olympics that did, or it was her husband that was handicapped. It was a female athlete, had a real good showing. I think it was track and field. Somebody refresh my memory there, because
I can.
You can picture it.
Vaguely remember what you're talking about.
I
know the American sprinters, the female
did real well.
Runners were good. Obviously, the basketball team won gold.
Yeah,
I think the winner, the gold medalist, the female that won gold in one of the sprint, the 100 or whatever, it was her husband that was in the stands, and he was handicapped or something, and it might have happened. I can't remember how his,
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even tell you any of their names.
No,
the ones that won.
No, but that was like the highlight of the entire Olympics. It seemed like, for the U.S. anyway, that was the highlight of the entire Olympics. I'm gonna ask a question here. I'm gonna show you how much you guys know how much attention I pay to college basketball this time of year.
Until February.
I know. Who's number one?
I have no
Tennessee,
idea.
aren't they?
Tennessee still number one, still holding on to the one spot.
Yeah, they're 11-0.
Do you know the top 5?
I got it right here.
All right.
Tennessee, Auburn, Iowa State, Duke, Alabama.
3 SECs.
Yep.
That's what I noticed.
And in Florida's 6th at 12-0.
Wow.
12-0.
I don't know why they haven't moved up to the top 2 or 3 yet, being undefeated.
For the top 6. Wow. Looks like
you
the football
guys looked
poll.
at the ACC basketball standings lately? Not a good year for the league. It doesn't appear, but that could all change, obviously.
What does it look like?
Let me see.
You got it? Because I don't really know.
Oh, is Duke the only ranked team right now? I think they are.
You're kidding. The only ranked?
Yeah.
Wow. That is, yeah. I'm a little surprised by that.
I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, a little surprised by that.
Let's see, I'm pulling up the standings now.
Jason.
Well, I mean, you got a season in which North Carolina is 7-5 at the moment. That's
they played a really tough schedule.
I still think they'll be good at the end of the year.
Okay. NC State, last year's Final Four team, they're 8-4. You got a lot of 7-5s. 4 teams are 7-5, 5-6.
While you're looking at that, Mike, Jason says for the Olympics, his favorite moments was Simone Biles' dominance and Steph Curry's takeover in the gold medal game. If you didn't see Steph and LeBron going at it a few nights ago, I watched the last 2 minutes of that NBA game, and it was worth it. I mean, the last 2 minutes of that game lasted about 30 minutes, but it was well worth watching. I mean, you're talking about guys just trading punches there, and the Lakers held them off. But Curry hit a couple incredible shots.
Remember the one from the deep corner?
Oh, my
gosh.
gosh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it looked like there was 6 people standing in the way. I think
half
fans,
the crowd was guarding
I think fans were in the way. And it looks like he just heaved it up there, and it went in. Nothing but net. I can't get over that one. Ned says for post-100 baseball, best moment may have been the success that alum Dalton Pence had for the Tar Heels.
Yeah,
and
I agree with
in
that.
multiple playoff games. Yes, he pitched very well.
I would say locally that's a big moment.
And my wife says, and Scotty won gold in golf.
Yep.
Scheffler.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler.
And he is injured now. I saw he's on the injured list. Got a punctured hand. Now, how do you?
Something about glass.
Is that what it was? Glass. Yeah, I saw he had a punctured hand and would miss about 3 weeks.
We also should probably try to cover what is your worst sports moment of the year.
Worst sports moment of the year? Oh, wow.
Well, how about Scheffler when he got arrested that morning, was taken to jail on his way to
Well, didn't bother me, but that was his worst sports moment.
Yeah.
It had to be his. I'm hoping that was his. I hope he didn't have anything that was worse than that. Except maybe it's still the same year he punctured his hand. Maybe that's pretty bad.
Yeah, but I bet he would say not winning.
Yeah,
whatever major.
So, yep, the loss would be his own personal one. Let's take our final time out. We have lyrics still yet to come from Brett, and let's see what we can get here.
I'm moving forward a couple decades.
I thought that was the lyrics.
At home, drawing pictures of mountaintops.
That's interesting.
At home, drawing pictures.
He's an artist of two types. Back in a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Bo Schrontz, I have a toothache. Where should I go?
Well, Tim, I'd go to John Cloninger Dentistry in Lincolnton. He takes care of all my dental needs. Cleanings and deep cleanings, crowns, bridges, fillings, dentures. He can even help you with your sleep apnea.
And guess what, Bo? He has a partner, Dr. Aaron Hevner.
That's right, Tim. Stop in at Dr. John Cloninger's Dentistry today to let Dr. Irvin Hevner and John brighten your smile.
John Cloninger Dentistry, 904 Doncha Drive, Lincolnton. Hours Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or call 704-735-0765.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for their great deals on items you use around the house. Need to update around the kitchen? Then shop a great selection of appliances and some up to 30% off retail prices. Buy Craftsman's 20-volt max battery and get your choice of matching Craftsman cordless tool free. Update your workshop area with a wide selection of shop tools, only $99 each. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Shop Lowe's in Lincolnton for the things you want to buy today.
Rhodes and Bill Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodes and Bill Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesandbill.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook too.
For where 2 or 3 have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. Matthew 18:20. You are invited to gather with us at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school meets at 10, and worship follows at 11 every Sunday. Follow us on Facebook for special service announcements. Join us Sunday at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church.
Welcome back. Boy, time goes by pretty quick in all aspects these days, but especially here this morning. Already down to the last segment, the fourth quarter of the show here this morning. Got some, got several guesses here. Rodney Willis, Richard Howell.
Richard chiming in.
Getting Brett's lyrics this morning. Before we get to the lyrics, I'm going to read a couple comments. Jason says ACC basketball is terrible this season. As a conference, they rank 7th for the best non-conference record. How many conferences are there? 8?
Yeah.
There's probably about 15, right?
15.
Nationwide, something like that. They are the only Power 5. There are only 5 power conferences. There, I got it. When you include the Big East, and they are the worst of the 5. Talking about the ACC, I guess.
Yeah.
The conference only won 2 games during the ACC-SEC challenge. I do remember that happening. That was it was not a good ACC challenge this year.
Ooh.
The SEC, their power, has always been football, but over the last 5 years or so,
it really has tilted.
It has.
You're right.
It has.
And they're now powerful in basketball.
Yep. Didn't Alabama play in the title game?
They played in the final. It made the Final Four last
The Final
year.
Four. It was UConn.
They lost to UConn.
Okay.
I think.
Who'd UConn beat there in the?
Yeah, they beat Purdue in the championship. Purdue beat State.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the Final Four.
That seems like years.
Well, we thought it was
ago.
a down year last year in the ACC, and they had still got a team to the
Had
Final
3 in the
Four.
Elite 8. Duke and Clemson made the Elite 8.
So whatever you want to, let's just wait and see till the smoke clears.
And Duke or State one had to lose.
Yeah.
Because they played each other.
Clemson was in it. Yeah. 3 teams in the Elite Eight.
That just seeing State in the Final Four seems like that was 5 years ago to me. I don't know. Maybe not to you guys.
That's a nightmare.
Usually it's the other way.
Yeah. Can you believe NC State defeated Duke 3 times last year?
How about that?
That's my worst sports
ACC tournament as well?
Yep.
Is it? Since 2020, the following coaches have retired from the conference.
Oh, yeah.
Roy Krzyzewski, Boeheim, Mike Bray, Tony Bennett, and Jim Larinaga.
Wow,
that's some pretty good names.
What a changing of the guard. That's right.
Yep, that's some pretty good names right there.
It is.
Lenny says you may have already mentioned this earlier, the loss of we did do Greg Gumbel. That was our first segment there, but we have not mentioned Ricky Henderson as of yet.
That's
losing
right.
Ricky Henderson seemed like that was about maybe last Sunday.
One of the greats, certainly. The base stealing record.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Brett, did you give your lyrics? You can read the lyrics one more time before giving the answer because yes, we do have correct answers from.
At home,
from
drawing pictures of mountaintops. That's what I gave.
Yep, that was. Who did I tell you got them? Richard and Rodney.
I got him.
And Mike. Well, I just meant on my phone.
Right.
But Mike, did you really get them and know them, or did you just guess the band because Brett told you they were 90s?
Yeah.
And then you just guessed the first song you thought of.
I really guessed
so
it.
you wouldn't have known.
I just had a lucky guess.
Hey, guess what? If it wins you $1 million, I'll take a lucky guess. So,
well, I just trying to think about 90s bands that were prominent.
Is that their most popular song, Brett?
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
They weren't.
I think it's the first one I remember by them. So let's go ahead and give it.
Jeremy is the title.
Jeremy is the title.
It was one of their first big radio hits.
Yeah.
Because that was off their first album.
The lyrics relate to today, don't they, in the sense that the lyrics are about a kid who's alienated and becomes violent, am I right? And takes it out on the world.
I just remember he spoke in class today.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Many times over. Or at least it was mentioned many times over.
Yeah.
I got something here. I was looking on Carolina Sports Hub. Richard Walker, of course. 2 Appalachian players have hit the portal, both going to Tulane, and they're both from Shelby. Lineman Jack Hollifield and defensive player Santana Hopper.
Where were they?
App. He said they're leaving App.
Okay, yeah. I heard him say where they were going.
Leaving App to go, both going to Tulane.
Well, I saw it.
Played at Shelby.
Looked like their best receivers going to Indiana, from what I read yesterday. Yeah.
What's going on up there? Coaching change.
Not good football.
No, and there's coaching change, right?
Yep.
He's already in play.
Yeah.
Hollifield played on 3 state championship teams for the Golden Lions.
You guys help me with this. Rodney sends this as I remember a little bit about this. I tried to get it to open, but it will not open. It just takes me to a bunch of ads. But do you remember the guy? It looks to me like he was from Turkey. Yeah, here it is. Turkish.
Oh, the shooter.
Yeah, that one with he didn't even use all the equipment, right? It was something that he won silver. He didn't win the gold, but he did win silver. What was the story behind him?
I don't remember.
Yeah. The headlines say, and this is what I couldn't get to open, Turkish sharpshooter Yusuf Dakic, something like that, wins silver at Paris Olympic with minimal gear and becomes an internet sensation. So I do remember that story. Rodney's got a list here of people that passed away in this past year, and I was going to look that up, so I'm glad he did it for me.
Yeah.
And we'll give that. I'm going to try to give at least, I can get through the whole list before we go off. I want to read a couple other comments. Ned says, don't say what he did do to the recess lady. Okay. He's back to Jeremy, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Jeremy. I can't even think of what that was, and maybe I shouldn't think of what it was. Jason says, Hubert Davis and Kevin Keats are now the only active coaches in the ACC to make a Final Four. Yeah.
Now, who now has the longevity record in the ACC? Was it Brad Bunnell of Clemson? Has he been there?
He has been there a
while.
while.
Yeah, it might be him.
He has been there a while.
That's the only one I can think of with any level of longevity.
Yeah. I can't.
Well, of course.
I can't even name you all the
Leonard
coaches.
Hamilton.
So.
I forgot about
Leonard. If Leonard Hamilton's still there, he's got to be the longest in the nation. Does he not?
No doubt.
I mean,
Brownell is in his 15th season at Clemson.
Yeah. Yep.
Does a good job.
I think they're competitive every single season.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask.
Seems like they get a little better and a step further too. And
yeah.
That's
Leonard Hamilton's in his 23rd season.
That's got to be close.
That's his 23rd at Florida State.
Yeah,
at Florida State.
Probably longer than that as a head coach, right?
He was at Oklahoma. Was he at Oklahoma State?
I couldn't tell you. Was
from
he?
86 to 90.
Yeah.
Then Miami, 90 to 2000.
Who is the?
Then the Washington Wizards.
Sutton. That's the Oklahoma State.
Eddie Sutton.
I remember Eddie Sutton back
and
in.
Of course, Leonard Hamilton remains perhaps, arguably, the most famous graduate of Harvard
GC?
by the Highway.
GC?
Dallas Gaston College. GC.
Yep. Lenny says Leonard Hamilton is the longevity guy. No doubt about that. Lenny, let's see. Jason says the same thing. Leonard Hamilton has the longevity. I'm not knocking on Leonard Hamilton. I love Leonard Hamilton, but his program seemed to slip just a little bit the last couple of years.
Yeah,
I mean, he was, always in the running. It seemed like always in the running for ACC championship.
Yeah, sometimes they would win a game or two, maybe three.
Yep.
In the big dance.
Well, with the new schools in the ACC, I have no idea who their coaches are or how long they've been there.
Yeah, California, Stanford.
SMU. Surely that's right off tip of my tongue, right? LSU's basketball coach. Did or did not the guy that's coached everywhere from Carolina? What's his name?
Larry Brown.
Did he coach at SMU?
I think so.
Yeah, I did too.
He did.
I think. Yeah.
He did.
That's probably the last one I remember at SMU.
Was that his last college stop for Larry?
I don't know. Another question I can't answer. Jeremy. So we did give that. Jeremy by
Andy Enfield is SMU's coach. You remember him?
I do. He was at that Florida
Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast. Yeah.
And then he went to Southern Cal.
Yeah, that's right.
The Florida Gulf Coast run got him the job at Southern Cal. He was there for 11 years.
What's his last name again?
Enfield.
Yeah, you can't forget that. Enfield. Yeah. I guess I did forget.
Well, according to ACC standings, they're 10-2, so he's done a pretty good job so
Andy
far.
Enfield, Florida. You said Florida Atlantic?
Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast.
FGCU.
Yeah, I remember they had that little run there. Got to what? The Sweet 16?
At least the Sweet 16.
At least the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I remember them showing where that college was. What beach was it on? Because it was
it's right on the water.
Magnificent looking. Yeah, the college itself. I mean, you could, run out of class and go.
Fort Myers.
Yeah,
Fort Myers.
Walk out to the beach.
Yeah, beautiful. Been to Fort Myers. That's real nice area. Down there, that's on the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, Gulf
down near the bottom, about as far south as Miami, just on the other side of the state. Let's go ahead and get into these a little bit because I don't want to go without mentioning some of the sports desks.
In memorial, yeah.
Real quick, Lenny says Andy Enfield is at SMU in his first year, and he had the that's what I remembered too, Lenny. Mike Pyatt even mentioned it. I'm shocked.
What?
He had the model wife. So that comes from Lenny.
Lenny.
Yeah. Let's see. Where
I was trying to find Stanford's.
Let's see. I have lost my place. Are you trying to find what?
Who Stanford's basketball coach is?
Who's their football coach?
Irrelevant. I guess both are really.
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant.
I can't name you California.
Kyle Smith is Stanford's basketball coach. In his first
Kyle
year.
Smith.
On the tip of my tongue.
Came from Washington State.
Yeah, that powerhouse up in
Didn't Johnny Dawkins coach Stanford
He did.
for a while?
Yep.
He did.
Yep.
And Mike Montgomery, he's the one I remember last time they were pretty good.
Yep.
And is Dawkins still at Central Florida? He was there at one time.
I don't know.
I never knew he was at Central Florida.
Oh, yeah, Duke played him in the tournament one year.
Okay, it goes back that
Central
far.
Florida had a 7'5" guy.
Yeah, he's still there since 26. Yeah, it was Taco Fall.
Taco Fall.
I think his name is Kyle Smith. What is
That's the Stanford basketball kid.
Kyle Smith. Good job, Lenny. Now let me go back to Rodney's and get you in touch with some of these folks that we lost. Not all of them are sports related, and that's good because we're not just 100% sports related ourselves.
We do culture, music.
We do. He says, let's see, what I liked about Rodney, he's talking about your Pearl Jam, and a great song, and he said, unfortunately, there's a lot of pain in those lyrics, like many great songs. Yes, that is exactly right. Here are some 2004 notable deaths. I didn't want to say 24 because you'd think there was 24 of them.
Right.
It might wind up being, but you know what? This one had already slipped my mind. O.J. Simpson.
Yep.
O.J. Simpson. Mercury Morris.
Yep.
You know who Mercury Morris is, Brett?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a Dolphins receiver.
Running
back. Okay, on that undefeated team.
He probably did just as much receiving as he did running back, though, because they used to throw to the back all the time.
72 team, or is it 73?
Louis, 72, I think. Louis Tiant. You know who that is?
No.
Red Sox pitcher back in the day.
Yep.
And speaking of baseball, quite a few here. Louis Tiant, Pete Rose, the greatest hitter of all time. Willie Mays, possibly the greatest player of all time. And Ricky Henderson, the greatest base stealer of all time.
Those are real titans.
They are. Dikembe Mutombo.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry West.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean.
The West Virginia
I
Flash.
saw Mutombo's son playing. Was it for Georgia Tech? Somebody Duke played recently. Had Mutombo's son. I think it was Georgia Tech.
Mutombo's the one that blocked all the trash can shots in the commercials, right?
Yeah.
After he retired, he was blocking the.
Now, didn't West win the NBA title both as a player for LA and also general manager?
I'll take your word for it.
I don't know. Maybe Brett would know.
As a general manager, probably so.
I think so.
I thought I was going to say as a coach, but
seems like he
as a general manager, probably so.
Might have been a GM for a couple of Golden States.
Was he?
Titles too.
I know he was the greatest player ever to come out of West Virginia. That's where he played.
Yes. Mike, one of your favorites here, another NBA, Bill Walton.
Oh, yeah. Love Bill.
Passed away. It's been about 6 months, right? Wasn't it in the hot months when Walton passed away? Quincy
How many
Jones.
Grateful Dead concerts for him? 120.
Oh, my gosh. All of them. Quincy Jones.
The great record producer.
Yep. See if you know who this is, Mike. If anybody knows who this is in this room, it will be you, right. Duke Fakir, if I pronounced it right.
I don't know.
Four Tops, Baby, I Need Your Lovin'.
Baby, I Need Your
And Can't Help Myself, better known as to some as Sugar Pie Honey Bunch.
Sugar Pie Honey Bunch.
Don't call me that, Rodney.
Four Tops.
How about the Allman Brothers' legendary guitar player?
Dickie Betts
on that list. How about country music legend from Oklahoma? Oh, Mike, you are just killing me.
Toby Keith.
There you go, Brett.
Of course.
Toby Keith should have been a cowboy.
Red Solo Cup.
As good as I once was. A lot of good hits.
Oh, yeah. Great songwriter, lyricist, everything.
Yes. Chris Christopherson, me and Bobby McGee. A member of the Highwaymen, along with Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Chris Christopherson.
How about the voice? Also, the voice of the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Also,
actor, well-known actor.
Lion King.
I'm
going to butcher this one. Lion King's Mufasa. Did I say that right or not?
Which is now currently a movie out, another.
Field of Dreams in that, too, is the voice.
And also
the Sandlot.
Yeah, he was in Sandlot.
The Sandlot listed here. Rodney will not, if Sandlot's in there, he's going to mention it. That's one of his favorites. I promise you that. Officer and a gentleman. You guys don't know who the drill sergeant was in Officer and a Gentleman?
Lou Gossett.
Lou Gossett.
Yeah,
Lou Gossett
great
Jr.
role. That was a great acting job in that one.
Yep. How about a star? One of the stars of Starsky and Hutch, Mike Powell. Same first name as me. There you go.
David. I can't get that last name.
Soul.
Soul.
David
right.
Soul.
David Soul.
S-O-U-L.
Starsky and Hutch.
Apollo Creed from Rocky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Carl Weathers.
You're right on it. Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers.
Brett will not get this one. Mike could, but I doubt it. 9 to 5, Tootsie, War Games, great comedian, older guy.
Yeah. God, what's his name?
His initials are DC. Does that help you, Mike? 9 to 5 with Dolly
Darcy,
Parton.
no.
No.
I know Tootsie's.
How about if I give you
Dabney
Hoffman.
Coleman. Dabney Coleman.
Dabney Coleman. Let's see. This one played in. This is an old one. I'll give you the hint. He's older and he's got a son that's also in the same profession. Dirty Dozen, MASH, Animal House.
Oh, Donald Sutherland.
There you go. Hunger Games. This one was in The Shining. A lady in The Shining. That's right up your alley.
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley
Duvall.
Yeah.
And then if I told you the guy, this is your best hint you're going to get. If I told you the name of his show, I'd be telling you his last name. Famous comedian. He also starred in the movie Elf, or was in the movie Elf. I don't know if he was the star. Go ahead. Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart.
Exactly. That's a good list there. You've got me. The good list you got me there.
He was in his 90s, yeah.
And before we go, I got a couple other things here
There was
that are popping
another
up.
comedian who died, Richard. His last name.
Pryor.
No.
Yeah.
He's been gone a
That
while.
wasn't this
He's
year.
been gone a while.
He has been gone a while. I
Richard
got
Lewis.
half of it right. He
Richard
did die.
Lewis.
Richard Lewis.
Richard
Yeah,
Lewis.
Richard Lewis.
Yeah, I think.
Oh Lord, Mike's writing them off, and it may not be. Now he says, "I think."
I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
Did
it
he?
was
Okay.
this year.
Yep. He was in a couple sitcoms, but he was best known for his stand-up stuff.
primarily.
Brett may not even remember Richard Lewis. Long hair. He always.
Yeah.
I
had
know
long
the
hair.
face. I wouldn't have known his name.
Best role,
Yeah.
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Oh, yeah, Princess Bride.
No, I don't know. I never watched that.
And then
Robin Hood Man in Tights. Sorry.
Is that Richard Lewis?
Yeah, he was the king.
Okay.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, the
show.
Larry David show.
Larry David show.
Yeah, he had.
Don't
a
tell
part
me
in that.
Larry David died though.
No.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Jason Barber says West won one ring as a player. This is Jerry West.
All right.
One ring as a player with the Lakers and 8 as the GM.
Whoa.
So, you know what? It's
many
amazing to me. He
people
only
have done
won
that?
one as a player.
I know.
Well, he lost to Bill Russell
Yeah,
a
8
bunch
times.
of times. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a couple of his as a GM were with the Warriors, or he
Were
was.
they?
I don't know if he was their GM or he was some kind of executive with the Warriors.
Okay.
For a couple of days.
Lenny correctly guessed Carl Weathers as
Weathers.
one of those that passed away
Hey, we didn't mention who won the
past year.
state titles last weekend.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm going to let you do that. Give us the state titles.
I don't have the scores right in front of me or anything.
I watched those games on Channel 64. That's about all I can tell you because everybody asked me. They said, "How you get there?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "Oh, it's different."
I couldn't
on
find them.
YouTube. Yep, you just have to. Well, Mike, you only have 3 channels.
Right.
But on Channel 64, they carried every single game. The coverage was great, wasn't it, Brad?
Yeah, it was good.
It was like watching a college game or whatever.
In the 3A game, West Charlotte beat 71st 14-7. That was just an ugly,
Yeah,
ugly
and
game.
71st. I mean, they've been there 2 years in a row. They've lost both games, and you got to.
Their quarterback was really hobbled.
You
He
gotta
couldn't
feel for
move.
him. Quarterback was.
He's a running
injured.
quarterback, and he
didn't even start.
He couldn't run. No, he
didn't even start the game. He went in later when they got in a little bit of trouble. But the defense played great for him. It's just a 14-7 game.
Yeah.
Say up 71st. But there again. Now this is Sam
Griner.
Second state
with 2 different teams.
2 different.
Yeah,
programs.
Harding and West
Harding
Charlotte.
and West Charlotte now.
Guys doing something right.
Oh yeah, and he's going to have.
And they're
kids
loaded with
flocking.
sophomores. West Charlotte's loaded with sophomores.
They're going all the way up to 8A.
Yeah.
but their quarterback was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And
one of the running backs was
Yeah.
soph or
Yeah.
junior.
yeah, but they are
Good.
there'll be people flocking to West Charlotte to play for Grinder now after
Oh,
winning
yeah.
the state title.
Tarboro beat Corvian Community 45-24. I think they had over 400 yards rushing. They just
8 straight appearances.
typical Tarboro.
8 straight appearances for Tarboro in the state title game.
And then Monroe beat Northeastern it was the best game of the day. 35-25 was the final.
And unless Mike read it and knows the answer to this, I want him to tell me how many state titles now is that for Monroe?
2.
That surprised me.
I did read
Yeah.
your story.
Yeah, did that not surprise you?
I did.
I thought it would have been more than 2.
Well, like I said in one of our football pick'em columns, they always seem to underachieve in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And but they didn't this year.
I think I went 4-0 and closest score.
I had the
extra
worst
point.
year I've had in
in
years.
those state championship games. Brett still got one more to give, don't you?
Oh, we talked about the Friday night game last week.
Okay,
Grimsley
that's
beat
right. That's right. It was on Friday.
Roseville.
Yeah,
Roseville.
I saw Grimsley was most people's pick for the best team in the state. What I don't always agree with is the top 6 or 7 being 4A teams. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But but Grimsley, that's their second.
Yeah.
Just their second title as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they were both in the last 5 years.
But
I
now
think
their
the other
quarterback,
ones.
some publications has as the number 1 QB, but he's a
in
junior.
his class, yeah.
He's a junior.
What's his name?
Yeah. I can't remember his name right off the top of
Brandon
my
is his last name.
Okay.
Okay.
Faison or something like that.
I
think that's
Faison
right.
Brandon.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I remember it now. I remember it. Since you said it. That's it. It is that time. Thank you for tuning in this morning to Sports Talk. Happy New Year from Mike and Brett. I'm David. We'll see you next week right here.